Hi there, my name's Lavelda Vincenzi. I'm an international moderator, speaker, and MC. In this video, I'm going to talk about that contentious topic of how the heck you get a speaker off the stage when they've gone on a bit too long. So here are my top tips. First of all, it's all in the preparation. So when you book a speaker, it's very important that you let them know upfront how much time they're allocated. And that's not just how much time they're allocated to speak, but does that time include time for questions, for example? So be very clear on how much time they're allocated and whether questions are included or excluded from that time frame. Also be very clear with speakers at the point of booking about the consequences of going over time. So if they go over time, what will happen to them? Are you going to switch their mic off? Will somebody come and take them off? How much contingency have you allowed for? Sometimes people going over by 30 seconds or a minute or two isn't going to be too big of a deal. But if they're at the 15-minute mark, you probably are going to have to rip them off the stage. Secondly, in terms of preparation, it's about the preparation when the speaker arrives on the day. Sometimes, unfortunately, we either have more or less time for a speaker, often less. They arrive, something's overrunning, and we need to bring the event back on schedule. And in order to do that, that might mean that we need to cut 10, 15, 20 minutes off a speaker's talk. If we're going to do that, you want to let your speaker know before they get on the stage that their time has been reduced. It allows them to recalibrate their speech rather than going to do the full speech over the time that they were originally told, only to discover that they're now running over time or to be ripped off the stage. That isn't fair to the speaker. Finally, you want to make sure before you even get to the event that you've got something lined up to help keep the speakers to time. Whether that is a time cue right at the front of the stage that's counting down, or whether you're using much more manual mechanisms where you're giving them a 30-minute cue, a 10-minute cue, a 5-minute cue, etc. And then finally, if they have ignored all of this stuff and you need to get them off the stage, then it's the follow through on the consequences that you speak about. If I was your MC, the way that I would typically handle this is they would be told when they were off time. They would get some subtle signs at the back of the room like wrap it up, we're over, please stop. And if they continued to ignore that, they would start to see me out of the corner of their eye sneaking up towards the stage. It's about subtly waiting for when there's a breath taken and using that as an opportunity to politely jump on the stage and say, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for right now. The other way that I've handled it is when a speaker wraps up, you're running over time and they say, ladies and gentlemen, have we got any questions? And normally at that point is when I jump up and say, unfortunately, we don't have time for questions right now. The key